already. This is going to be exciting.
Here the Geico restart zone we go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Welcome back to the Goat Locker Racing INVETS Grand National Series for the final race before the regular season ends here tonight at Michigan. I'm Scott Schreck. I'm joined up in the booth tonight by Dave Regal and our producer Skylar Daly, and we are going to have some drama here as drivers try to make one last push into the playoffs. Dave, tell us what they're going to need to do to get that done at Michigan.
Well, first of all, Sky, this is one of those racetracks, especially in this Grand National Series, that's going to require a lot of patience. It's big and it's broad, and it's 2 miles around. 18 degrees banking in the turns, 10 degrees for banking on the front stretch. And that front stretch is big and broad. I mean, there's so much room to race at this place. You know, you're going to have to give, although that it's big and wide, you're still going to have to give each other a lot of space on here, because once these cars get wound up, this almost becomes a drafting track, which to me is why so many of the race teams in the real world have the success that they do here, like Junior Motorsports. Big drafting program, and of course that's what we're going to have a lot of here tonight at Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at your points here as we head into the round of 12 for the playoffs just next week. You can see Mark Whitley, Joseph McWhorter have been the class of the field pretty much all year long. Mark Whitley has especially been dominating as of late. Chuck Sweeting, Levi McCarty, Garrett Kinder, Frederick Seagraves, Barrett Morton, Jamie Libke, all looking to be in pretty good shape here heading into the playoffs. And then just behind that cut line, you've got Stephon Davis, or just ahead of the cut line, excuse me, you've got Stephon Davis, Brandon Wallace, and then Judson Curtis, currently your last car in, but does have an EOL penalty. You'll have to work from the back tonight, and you can see just how tight that cut line is with Brock Price, Ken Huber, Stefan Purcell, all within a point of each other. Can't count out Devontae Drain or Michael Jones back there either.
No, and I'm telling you right now, Ken Huber's the driver that I'm picking to get inside that bubble and you know, secure that playoff spot. I mean, you know, here's the thing. We've been watching, especially those top 3 to 5 drivers, you know, your Whitley, McWhorter, Burke, Sweeting, and McCarty, duke it out all season long. And, you know, as we get ready to grid up here, all I can say is these drivers have earned their spots the hard way on the point standings.
And we will get into your race results here in just a moment as qualifying has wrapped up, and we're going to have a new face up here at the front of the field tonight, in large part because Mark Whitley, who has been so dominant in this series over recent weeks, is not in the field tonight. It'll be Chuck Sweeting in the 57 car, grabbing your Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award here tonight. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They've been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning. They're local and veteran certified, and when they do well, they do good in the community. Chuck Sweeting is the winner of your Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award tonight. He'll go from first place next to Ken Huber on the front row. Third is that 29 of Judson Curtis, but as mentioned, he is an EOL from 2 weeks ago back at Phoenix. Did not serve it last week as he was not in the field, so he will serve it here tonight and will start from the rear. Austin McGulkin qualifies 4th in the 54. Tracy Passons qualifies in 5th in the 53 car next to the 47 of Tyler Gebbin. Garrett Kinder in the 4 goes from P7 next to the 30 of Logan Threlkeld in P8. Fastest time in practice was Logan Threlkeld. And in row 5 tonight, we'll have Devontae Drain in the 33 next to Stephon Davis in the 09.
Rolling off in 11th position, going to be Brandon Wallace on the inside of row number 6, with Dave Calvert to the outside, rolling off in 12th. Starting on the inside of row number 7 is going to be Kyle Deering alongside the great Barrett Morton, starting in 14th. 15th position is going to be Chuck Abert and Chuck Pegleg Feltz in 16th position, so a pair of Chucks there in row number 8. Row 9 going to feature Frederick Seagraves Jr. III and Mason Mayor, starting in 18th position. 19th going to go to Jamie Libke out of Phoenix, Arizona, and rounding out your starting top 20 is Michael Jones in the O2 machine.
Starting back from there, you've got the 20 of Daryl Whitford in 21st next to the 80 of Kevin Price. Tony Graham in the 051 rolls off 23rd next to Mark Barcelos in the 49. Miles Graham in the 058 goes from P25. Brock Price in the 43 goes from P26. He was the last car to take a time tonight. And then behind him, you've got Levi McCarty in the 18, Lucas Lyons in the 17, Logan Sturgeon in the 26, Jeffrey Goodpaster in the 66, Benjamin Richards in the 56, Stephon Purcell in the 92, and Armando Melgoza in the 78 car. Will make up your final row, along with Gary Wright in the 44 machine, who has had some internet issues in practice, so you might have to keep an eye on that 44 car. I believe that's why he was ultimately unable to take a time tonight. The pace car will pull off as we exit turn 4. It's going to be Chuck Sweeting and Ken Huber up on the front row, and as we hit the extreme scoring restart zone, we are green at Michigan.
As the green flag flies, Chuck Sweeting dives down into turn 1, leading the field. And he has Ken Huber, I was just talking about him a moment ago, to the high side. On the low side, just behind him is Tracy Passons. And Passons now goes single file just ahead of Austin McColgan.
McColgan is in hot pursuit of that 53 car as we take lap 1 of 70 here in tonight's race at Michigan. Already a little bit of a gap there as Ken Huber, starting on that outside row, has dropped that car back to P4, and Passons and McColgan are able to take advantage. There's a battle brewing behind that 40 car as well. You've got Tyler Gebbin in there. Garrett Kinder, Logan Threlkeld, the 4 and the 12 are side by side behind him, and that's going to be a tap from Devontae Drain to the back of that 4 car. Garrett Kinder almost caught that car out, but the 4 is able to save it. Drain backed off to give him some space to keep that thing in line. I think no harm done for either of those cars as they'll get on the radio, apologize to each other, and get back moving here. Stephon Davis in the 09 now looking up the inside of Drain for P8 as Ken Huber is facing pressure from Logan Threlkeld. He's already fallen behind Tyler Gebbin. He's now back to P5.
Taking a look here, Ken Huber now slides into 6th position. He's going to be passed now by Logan Threlkeld in what's painted as the 12 but scored as the 30 machine. Fast time on the racetrack goes to Tracy Passons as he just laid down a 39.37. A nice spread here in the front as we take a look at that telemetry of Passons, and right now 194 and climbing. We're going to see a lot of those speeds hang in that mid 190s neck of the woods, especially down the backstretch and into turn 3. Drivers are going to have to burp the throttle going into 3 to get that car to settle itself and rotate to fire off of 4. And now we can see here, chasing through the trioval is Austin McColgan, hot on the heels of Tracy Passons.
Trying to look a little bit high there. Almost looked like that car stepped out on him the right rear, not looking like it was driving where he would have wanted that thing to drive to get a good run through the corner. And he'll lose a little bit of time as a result. McColgan continues to pursue the 53 of Tracy Passons as the 57 car of Chuck Sweeting maintains his grip on the lead of the race. The 53 car gets loose there, still a little bit out of control. Now the 54 is loose, trying to gas it up underneath that car. Somehow it all evens out. They exit the corner side by side regardless. McGolkin will be ahead at the line, and he'll have that inside lane down into the corner. We'll see if he's able to use that to get a little bit of a run going and make that pass on the 53 of Passons. McGolkin trying to get it done. Can he get clear off the corner? No, he's not. He's going to turn himself off the nose of the 53 car, and Austin McGolkin is sliding through the infield. The caution will be thrown as, whoa, we got a late T-boning there as well. Cars were scattering further back in the field.
I don't know what could have possibly caused that. That was the 4 of Garrett Kinder just absolutely annihilating the 54 that's now going to crab walk off the racetrack. Watch this. Kinder, let's back up
tag
here.
Huber.
Huber shoots down. Kinder trying to bring it. Oh, just wrong place, wrong time.
He tagged Garrett Kinder there, and then that was what sent him through the infield, got him into that 54 car.
Yeah, meanwhile, the 54 of Austin McColgan still trying to work his way around the racetrack. That thing is crab walking. He's going to need that faster pair without a doubt. Yeah, take a look at that. I mean, it looks cool if you're surfing.
Ooh.
Going to take a quick second here to thank our friends at GTR Simulators. GTR Simulator, a leader in professional grade racing and flight simulators, delivers immersive, real-world experiences trusted by racers, pilots, educators, and entertainment venues worldwide. From home setups to commercial and training solutions, GTR Simulators puts you in the driver's seat. There's a special discount for GLR in the shop tab at goatlockerracing.org. First caution of the night now on lap number 6. Drivers were just getting a good feel for the racetrack as we take a quick peek at our conditions on the racetrack. Overall, not a bad night for racing. 80 degrees the outdoor ambient air temperature, and that track temp at 111 makes it nice and slick and fast to boogie around this piece.
Yeah, you're going to see some more cars sliding like Passons and McColgan were on that first couple laps of the race. The hotter this track gets, the more slippery it will be, and I think you'll really see that come into play later on in this one. That 18 car, Levi McCarty, has ended up a lap down. Was that? Oh, he made a pit stop under green there pretty early on in this one. Oh, he got wrecked. Levi McCarty had to take a faster pair. He was wrecked into the pit road barrels under green after getting into a wrecking Mason Mayer car. I don't know if we can find the replay on that, but that is why Levi McCarty has gone a lap down in the early stages of this one. He took the faster pair, he got it back out, but yeah, not a good start to the race for that 18. It's going to be, I believe, right around the end of lap 4 for him. Right around the end of lap 3 for him is when this is going to happen. You can see it from the tower cam there as he kind of crashes into the pit road entry. I'm going to try and find this for you here. It's going to be before this, because it was going to be what he came into pit road for. All right, well, we're having some problems with the replay, but yeah, that's what happened to the 18 of Levi McCarty, is he just grabbed that wall and grabbed a loose Mason Mayer car, then grabbed the wall, then grabbed the pit road barrels there and had a big accident, had to tow it back to his box. And he's now a lap down as a result. Austin McGolkin will get the EOL for incident responsibility, by the way. So cars will get doubled back up here on lap 8 out of 70 with Chuck's leading, still holding the lead of this race. Tracy Passons still holding on to P2. A couple of cars have made some big moves here. Michigan, a track where you can definitely make some passes early on in a run. Lucas Lyons has gone 28th to 15th, and Logan Sturgeon has gone 29th to 17th. So those are two cars who have really managed to get their way up through the field in the early going of this one.
Yeah, it's been an interesting night so far, and I mean, you know, for a lot of these drivers, they were just getting into that early groove as we, you know, I mean, barely a tenth of the way through this thing.
So we will get ready to roll here as the cars make their way through. 3 and 4. Get ready to roll once again here in the INVETS Grand National Series race at Michigan. Long pace laps here. Over a minute and a half just for one pace lap with the length, the 2-mile nature of this track. These cars will enter the extreme scoring restart zone here shortly as the pace car pulls in. Problems, internet issues there for the 47 car of Tyler Gebbin, but everyone gets back to the line clean, and Chuck Sweeting will take us back to the green flag.
Back underway, and Chuck Sweeting leads the way here on lap number 9. He's got Logan Threlkeld, Santa Claus, right behind him. The Hawthorne, Florida native being chased down early on here in this green flag run. Ken Huber out of Kalispell, Montana, goes single file. A lot of this field has decided, hey, listen, we were getting a little chippy earlier, but maybe it's time to fall into line and hang loose for a little while.
See how it goes as Gebbin is still making his way up there on the outside. Internet issues for him seem to have calmed down as Chuck Sweeting is taking some heavy pressure back here from the 30 of Logan Threlkeld. That car has jumped his way up into P2, and he is applying some pressure to Chuck Sweeting. Running a little bit lower here. He's going to try to dive down the inside, maybe a slide job back up the road. No, Sweeting is just going to let that 12 car go by, and Logan Threlkeld shows 12 on the car, 30 on your ticker. Either way, he will be your new leader here tonight at Michigan on lap 10. Chuck Sweeting led the first 9, but he won't lead anymore, as that's going to be the 53 of Tracy Passons also getting underneath that 57 car. He'll steal P2 away, and that is Chuck Sweeting down 2 spots in 1 lap from first back to third. So got some battles brewing maybe a little bit further back in the pack as well. We're seeing some cars go side by side deeper in the field at the moment. Right around this 56 car. Oh, we're almost 4 wide up ahead of this. Whoa,
oh
Dave
my.
Calvert into the outside wall. It is all going down in this gaggle of cars. You got Lucas Lyons. He's in the middle of that in the 17 car. He's going to look to go 3 wide. Has to back it out because Seagraves has a bad corner entry. You got Judson Curtis down all the way on the bottom of this thing. And Seagraves is going to get a little bit loose again, struggling to control that 59 car. Almost got into the side of Sturgeon, dropped it out, and now it's Judson Curtis in the 29. Started this race at the very back of the field with an EOL penalty, has driven it all the way back up to 13th. He is diving down to the inside of Frederick Seagraves as they're still side by side behind with the 90 of Dave Calvert and the 17 car of Lucas Lyons. Seagraves has got to run a little bit higher off that corner or else we're going to have an accident.
Yeah, that whole knot just kind of sorted itself out. Drivers realized how much trouble they were about to be in. I think sometimes that's the heads-up driving that we get in the Goat Locker Racing INVETS Grand National Series. You know, every Sunday night we see competitive racing, but it gets smarter every week. Right now I'm taking a look here at Jeffrey Goodpaster from Indianapolis, and he's working to the inside now of the 02 of Michael Jones, and he's taking his time. He's got the 56 pushing him from behind, Benjamin Richards. As, you know, overall he's at a point right now where he's going to just take his time, work ahead of that 2x2 battle, and start to scamper away from those 2 drivers who are going to get themselves stalled out.
And race is going by pretty quick. You're already 13 laps down with some green flag racing here at Michigan as you see Michael Jones there in the 02 car running that outside lane, making some ground up as he races against Benjamin Richards in the 56 down there on the bottom. We are going to go back at it for the lead here pretty shortly. It looks like Tracy Passons in the 53 car is there and ready to strike on the 30 of Logan Threlkeld. Got a good run through the corner, made some speed, but the 53 has the advantage with the better exit out of the corner here. Passons might have scraped the wall there on exit. Definitely had to let off a little bit, lost some time. But he, Sweeting, and the 40 car of Ken Huber are all in a tight line here in hot pursuit of the 30 of Logan Threlkeld, and I don't know how long he's going to be able to hold on to this lead with this kind of pressure happening behind him. These cars going to be able to draft a little bit even on the 30 car of Logan Threlkeld with how tight together they all are. I wouldn't be surprised to see the 57 maybe give a push to the 53 to get him closer up to the rear bumper of the 30.
Yeah, that front stretch just isn't long enough to be able to draft close enough for Sweeting to be able to bump Passons. Threlkeld, though, is starting to, you know, he's keeping a good steady distance of about a quarter second ahead of Passons. Right now, it looks like the 57 of Sweeting peaked to the inside. If he could really hold on to the rear bumper of the 53, he might be able to, oh, there it is. He might be able to swing it around. He does. He goes wheel to wheel with the 53 coming through turn 4. And as they cross the start-finish line, it's going to be the 57 of Chuck Sweeting with the edge as now he drifts in front of the 53, opening the door for Ken Huber. Now, all of a sudden, Chuck Sweeting going to have to hold off 2 cars at once here on lap 16.
Ken Huber, they're barely slid in behind the rear bumper of Tracy Passons. He's getting a bit creative. He wants to make some moves up through the field as well and find his way back towards the lead of this pack. There in the 40 car, has a win on the season, has a lot of good finishes. The only reason he's not higher in points is because he's had a couple races this season he just hasn't been able to show up to. Has had life stuff get in the way, but he's here now. And he's trying to get himself firmly into the playoffs with a win tonight. He'll go up the inside of the 53 car of Tracy Passons. Going to drive that car a little bit higher up the racetrack than maybe Passons wants to be as he works the middle lane down on the inside. Pretty decent run out of the corner there, staying somewhat even with that 53 car. Passons will get the better line courtesy of being on the top, but Ken Huber is not going to go away anytime soon. Stephon Davis in the 09 also beginning to join this battle. He's not too far out of the fray either. Huber with a dive down to the inside. Passons loose on the top lane. Huber will get well clear, and now it's Stephon Davis down to the inside. He'll look to get the 4th position. Passons will drop 2 spots in 1 lap. He's back to 5th as Sweeting is right on the back bumper of Threlkeld.
Yeah, Threlkeld all of a sudden being harassed by Chuck Sweeting. And Chuck Sweeting giving plenty of room and says, hey, listen, I'll wait for you to make a mistake. Right now, Sweeting kind of reeling him in 1 step at a time, while Ken Huber is probably in the best position on the racetrack. He's got the 2 leaders fighting it out in front of him, waiting for somebody to make a mistake. He's got the 09 sniffing that rear bumper, but can't get a hold of him. So right now, real estate-wise, Ken Huber in the best position on the racetrack. Jamie Libke, though, all of a sudden in the middle of a battle right up against the rear bumper of Frederick Seagraves Jr. as they run 13, 14, and 15 with Chuck Feltz in the mix. Nearly taking off the nose of the 16 was the 59 of Seagraves. And now they work here on lap number 19 with the 16 sliding behind Chuck Feltz. That momentum loss is really going to cost her as now Mason Mayor going to slide by as well out of Dover Plains, New York.
It is a wide racetrack, and you're seeing it here because we've seen cars run basically every different lane. A couple drivers are liking that bottom lane right around the yellow. Some cars up in the middle, some cars up in the top. A lot of different places you can go here. As we see it move a little bit further up the road, this is Logan Sturgeon in the 26, entering the top 10 there with a move on the 50 car of Kyle Deering. He'll get through that car pretty cleanly, and he will put his focus up ahead as Deering is going to fall under threat from Lucas Lyons in 17. Whoa, we got a car slow in the middle of the back straightaway. That is Miles Graham. Problems for that 058 car as he was leaving the pit lane, but everyone will get around him just fine, and we won't have any further issues with that as 53 bangs it off the wall. Tracy Passons is going backwards in a hurry. This car was in the top 3 just a couple laps ago. Has maybe overheated those tires on this 115-degree racetrack and has slipped all the way back to P8. It's been a disaster run for that 53.
Yeah, there's been a lot of drivers working extra hard tonight. They know that being in the last week of the regular season before the playoffs, that they've got to, basically make soup or dump the pot out. And right now, Chuck Sweeting here in the 57, side by side with Logan Threlkeld. We've got a good battle for the lead, and now Threlkeld peaks back to the inside. It's been the Sweeting and Threlkeld's show for quite a while now. Ken Huber still looking on from behind as now Threlkeld looks right at the rear bumper. He's going to draft up just behind, but can't get the job done this time by in the Zinn machine, as that Chevrolet Camaro is going to look one more time to take a slingshot run at the rear bumper of Chuck Sweeting.
Sweeting now back in the lead, relinquished it for about 10 laps there, but got it back without too much trouble And Threlkeld will look to get it back. I wonder if, just like the 53 of Passons, he has spun those tires. He's ran into trouble, and he might start slipping back through the field now if one of those cars like Ken Huber or Stephon Davis, who have maybe maintained their tires a little bit better, are able to get up there, pass him, and get back to that position. So we are on lap 23 at a 70, just about a third of the way through this race here. The battle for the top 4 has been going basically the whole time out here. We haven't really seen any breaks in this tight race up front.
Back deeper in the field, Mason Mayor was just side by side with Jamie Libke as the caution comes out. Caution out, waiting to see what caused this one. I don't see anything having registered yet. Oh, that's that. I'll tell you what, a lot of that's going to have to do with this racetrack being as hot as it is. 116 the temperature is up to now. Oi! Just a quick tag, and boom goes the proverbial dynamite for the 44. Ugh, that's rough, especially once we hit this point in the race. I mean, basically, it was probably a scheduled tire stop coming up anyway, and here we are having to go under caution.
And that car will go all the way back through the field as a result of that. Well, I guess maybe not, because that car was 4 laps down in last place anyway. But he'll go maybe even further to the back of the field here, because he's going to lose a couple laps in the process of doing that there in the 058 car, as we will...
They're wrecking under caution.
Ooh.
Go to the 43 of Brock Price, if you will.
Yeah. Well, huh. This is gonna start in front of them.
Race control is gonna have some interesting decisions to make here.
Well,
Let's go to the
you're gonna want to watch Daryl Whitford. He full throttled the entire field. I don't know if he was maybe having some internet issues or what the deal was, but he full throttled about 6 cars there.
If I'm Daryl Whitford, I'm going to start screaming that I had internet issues so I don't get...
Well, he did phase through Chuck Feltz in the process, but he did not phase through any of the other cars he hit, which is fascinating. He also looks like he phased through Mason Mayer, who might have dodged a bullet there.
Well, that's an interesting development.
Huh.
Yeah, things that make even a broadcaster go, huh.
Yeah, I mean, he went about 160 straight into the back of Jeffrey Goodpaster and Dave Calvert. And honestly, the weirdest bit was that he was still accelerating when it happened. So, yeah, I got nothing for you on that one. We're going to have pit stops here for everybody, not just the cars wrecked there by Daryl Whitford. Chuck Sweeting ends up winning that race out of pit road.
And it looks like nobody's going to be awarded the Bonehead Award tonight. Everybody came down pit road this time around. Not a bad thing, not mad at it. Last week we had some Bonehead pit decisions, but things seem to have corrected themselves.
Daryl Whitford connection dropped due to packet loss. So that, yeah.
There it is.
There it is. That's, I wonder how he managed to phase through every car except Jeffrey Goodpaster.
Well, he didn't want to hit the Goodpaster. See what I did there? That's
unfortunately, he did hit the Goodpaster. That was the only one he did hit. And then Goodpaster ended up taking out the car in front of him. I can't say I've ever seen that one before. I've done hundreds of races on here over the years, and that is a first. I will tell you that much.
Well, you never know what you're going to see here at the racetrack. We also want to tip our cap and thank our friends at Zat Graphics. It's a family-owned independent business with emphasis on Christian values, honesty, and commitment, located in Brownsburg, Indiana. Their service policy means treating each customer with the individual attention that they deserve. Contact them today at zatgraphics.com. Zat Graphics, we can put your design on almost anything. I wonder what almost anything means. I'm going to come up with something that they say they can't. What is the thing they can't?
So we should try to find that out for next time. Find that out.
I'm now gonna work on it.
We will get ready to get back rolling just over a third of the way through this race, and while we did have 4 tire pit stops for basically everybody, the order at the front of the cars, or the order of the cars at the front of the field remains basically unchanged. You've got Chuck Sweeting, and you've got Logan Threlkeld up here as well, as I think Michael Jones asked for an EOL penalty, and he was given one. So he'll go up to the back of the field on this restart, as it'll be Sweeting and Threlkeld in the restart zone, and we're going to have to look at if Threlkeld maybe jumped that one there in the 12 car. He got straight out to the lead. Yeah, they're going to investigate that one. Look a bit further back in the field here. You've got the 09 of Stephon Davis, the 40 car of Ken Huber doing battle, and the 29 of Judson Curtis. After starting this race at the very back of the field, has that car running up in 5th. He's looking for more there as he continues to pursue Davis and Huber, running 1 spot in front of him. And now you're going to see a move from Devontae Drain, that 33 car, up on the high side as we're 3 wide out of turns 3 and 4. Drain is going to have the momentum advantage of having that top line and having the better run out of the corner. He's not able to get clear yet, but he is almost there in that 33 car up to P4, looking to get around Huber and Curtis if he can get it done, and maybe if he can keep that momentum up, turn it into a way to pass Stephon Davis as well. Huber still working up there on that top side. And the Michigan car, happy with how they performed in the Elite 8 today, and he'll try to grab a win here as he's up in the Final 4.
That knot has reformed deeper in the field. Frederick Seagraves Jr. the third here in the 59 machine, just to the inside of Jamie Libke. Further back, the lung dart machine of Stefan Purcell now sits behind this battle, waiting for the 54 to make a mistake. That's Austin McColgan, as now McColgan on, and the caution comes out.
This is an admin thrown one, as Armando Melgoza and Michael Jones are stopped on the front straightaway. This is going to be Michael Jones is in the wrong place at the wrong time here, because Melgoza is just going to crash himself. Luckily, those are both cars with a fast repair still left.
You can't park there. Oh,
you cannot. He was trying to save it. It just didn't end up working. And instead of going back down the racetrack, he just overcorrected too much, got up into that outside wall, and Michael Jones, again, wrong place, wrong time there.
Yeah, he said, I got it, I don't got it. Oof, that is a helpless feeling, too. Once that car starts pirouetting, all you can do is stand on the brake and wait.
He will have a lot to do to get that car a little bit further up the field. Same with Michael Jones, who is already kind of in trouble there. Both of those cars maybe not having the day they would want, but they're going to try to recover. As you can look at our positions lost / gained. It's showing Judson Curtis at -4. That does not include his EOL penalty at the very start of this race. So realistically, he's gone from 34th up to 6th. That's plus 28. Or 7th, that's plus 27. Sturgeon also up 20.
Yeah, Sturgeon has had a pretty impressive night, out of Warren, Ohio, gaining 20 positions after starting in 30th. I mean, for starters, he's done it the quiet way. I'm always impressed with these drivers that we see do things quietly. That means that they're just taking it one day at a time. Michael Jones now being issued the meatball flag, I thought I saw. But these drivers that take it one position at a, there we go. That take it one position at a time, hey, let me work on this. Let me do it nice and easy. That's a good competitive driver. And tonight, Logan Sturgeon showing everybody that he is made for this league here in the INVETS Grand National Series. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight here on V-Speed. Dave Regal and Sky Shrek with you live on the air. You're watching the INVETS Grand National Series, part of the Goat Locker Racing family of racing series. And our friends at Save 22 get the credit for keeping us on the air tonight. Save 22 is a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Our unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate. Save22.vet.
By the way, race control says the restart there for Threlkeld was clean. Chuck Sweeting did not go until after he was already out of the restart zone. So the green flag flew. Sweeting still had not gotten on the gas. Threlkeld did, and that is why he will be your leader. That was a clean restart for the 30 car. What are you looking for, Dave, as we approach halfway through this race?
I mean, the first thing that I'm looking for is, you know, we're finally at that point where the cream is going to start to rise at the top. We've seen the drivers that have made the mental mistakes out on the racetrack, you know, pay those prices. And at least for my money here, I want to see these drivers decide who's going to, you know, give the room, who's going to make the hard decisions late in this race.
We'll get doubled back up here as the lights on the pace car will come off. It'll be an EOL penalty for Armando Melgoza in the 78 as a result of that incident. So he will go to the rear, which he was back there already after having to get a fast repair to fix the damage for that one. It'll be 38 to go when we get rolling back green here, as Logan Threlkeld and Chuck Sweeting will take us back to that green flag. Stephon Davis has been steadily climbing up through the field. He's had a pretty good car, particularly on these long runs, and that has gotten him from 10th up to 3rd. He's going to play a role in this battle. 3 cautions, 3 lead changes so far in the race. The lead just changing hands back and forth between Threlkeld and Sweeting.
Yeah, Threlkeld has been an impressive driver tonight. I mean, you know, gaining 7 spots from where he had started this race. I mean, Chuck Sweeting, you know, all night long, of course, having originally captured that pole award tonight, has just been up there giving everybody fits. And this is one of those situations, especially when we don't see your McWhorters and you know, your Whitfords. This is one of those nights where we get to see that door open, especially without Joseph McWhorter out here and Mark Whitley. We get to see the other drivers really shine tonight. That's what I'm excited to see here in the latter half of this race.
Well, we will see how that goes as we get ready to get back rolling here with Threlkeld and Sweeting up on that front row. These cars will enter the extreme scoring restart zone. Threlkeld jumps pretty early on in it, and he will get a good jump out on Sweeting. Got already about a car length there as we cross the start-finish line and head down into turn 1.
Threlkeld with the good jump right over top of Sweeting, but Sweeting says not so fast, my friend, as now he's going to be able to draft up right behind Threlkeld. Up to nearly full speed they are as they get ready to haul things down into turn 3. 194 just before having to burp the throttle. Side by side is Barrett Morton and the 33 of Devontae Drain. Barrett Morton out of Louisville, Kentucky. Now, going to take the safe way here and stay on the bottom, while the Michigan machine driven by Devontae Drain is going to be on the high side. A lot of speed locked up there in that upper groove. And whoa, the 53 shoots the middle and makes this thing 3 wide as he goes wheel to wheel with the 9 and the 33. We're going to see a problem here. The 9 washes up the track. They collect the 53. The 17 dives out of the way. That's Lucas Lyons. And they're able to stay green and point in the right direction.
Lucas Lyons got a couple cars there by diving that thing straight down to the infield and just gassing it around all of them there. That was a big move for that 17 car to jump himself up into the top 5 as we are going to go racing for the lead here very shortly. Chuck Sweeting has pulled that car right up to the bumper of Logan Threlkeld and is going to try to run some different lanes to get that car back up ahead of the 30. As we're racing back for 3rd as well, with Devontae Drain also moving up through the field. Has that car in 4th right now with Stephon Davis. The lack of some of the more traditional front runners in this series, Mark Whitley, Joseph McWhorter, both being absent from this race, has really opened up the door for a couple other drivers to grab some wins tonight. And I know Mark Whitley has won, I believe, the last 4 races here in this, or the last 3 races here in this series. So won't be able to get 4 in a row someone new is going to grab one here tonight.
You know, I think that's one of the exciting. If I was one of these drivers and I saw that, you know, Mark Whitley and Joseph McWhorter weren't here tonight, I'd be like, hey, open field. Let's rock and roll and see what we can pull off here. A lot of these drivers on the last lap were laying their fastest laps of the night so far. Stefan Davis, Devontae Drain, Lucas Lyons all laid their fast times down. Still, you know, paling in comparison to some of our other fast times. But Lucas Lyons at 39.61. An impressive time as we boogie around here on lap number 36, now 37, as we cross the start-finish line here at Michigan International Speedway. Logan Threlkeld still under assault from the 57 of Chuck Sweeting, but Sweeting giving him plenty of room. Deeper in the field, Jamie Lipke once again going at it with the 59 of Frederick Seagraves Jr. Now Jamie's able to get her car up and around the 59 and put her sights on the 47 of Tyler Gebben.
See, almost 3 wide here, a little bit further in the field with Lucas Lyons up there. Oh, the caution will fly further back before we can sort that out. We have Mason Mayer and Chuck Feltz up in the outside wall. And, well, let me take a look at this real quick. Mason Mayer, yeah, they're just going to kind of come together. I think Mayer thought he was clear and he wasn't.
Just the 4th caution of the night, and overall, I mean, that's still a really good performance. I mean, maybe a little more than we're used to seeing here in the Goat Locker Racing INVETS Grand National Series, but overall, 4 cautions at Michigan is not unheard of.
No, this has been a pretty clean race. It's been a pretty good race once we've had some green flag racing rolling. I mean, we've seen some pretty good battles really all throughout this one tonight.
Pretty busy week in and around the world of sports. Of course, baseball's regular season kicking off Wednesday night. A lot of streaming services. We're definitely maybe we were ahead of the curve here on V-Speed streaming on YouTube, but I see a lot of new sports appearing on streaming services. It's pretty exciting.
We were talking about the PWHL before this.
Yeah.
YouTube exclusive, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's so many more options to watch your sports, and it's still putting butts in seats. It's definitely not hurting attendance. Baseball's had a great opening week. Sellout here in Philadelphia. The now 1-2 Philadelphia Phillies off to a crap start. Yeah, well. I was really excited on opening day and then promptly wanted to put my head directly under the subway tracks.
That's baseball.
Yeah, no, that's Philadelphia.
It's both.
I'm also excited that baseball's Sunday night featured game is back on NBC where it belongs. I know that you're far too young to remember the NBC game of the week, but I'm excited to have Bob Costas on my TV.
Flyers almost in the playoffs, which means it's about time for Lucy to pull the football out from in front of us and us to get the 14th pick of the draft.
Yeah. I mean, look, the Flyers every year flirt with that last wild card slot, and then promptly pack their things and get out of the arena.
Yeah. Well, they just allowed a goal, so it is tied at 1. As
you must be on a year delay.
30-something to go here. No, it's intermission. I got it. I got the Google tab as we are 30 to go. Mason Mayer will get incident responsibility for that incident, and he will go to the back with an ELL penalty. As you're gonna see a good amount of pit stops here, mostly from cars a little bit deeper in the field. Your top 11 have stayed out, but then Stefan Davis, Tyler Gebben, Brandon Wallace, Lucas Lyons, Levi McCarty back there have all come down to take tires. Excuse me, Tyler Gebben's only taken fuel. Everybody else back there has come down, put 4 tires on it. Purcell, Huber, Calvert, Morton, Wright, all coming down for 4. Whereas your top 12 are all sticking it out. So that's what's going on right now. We'll see if those cars ultimately have the right strategy. I would have to imagine they do, because I think Threlkeld, Sweeting, Drain, all these cars are probably going to have to pit here before too long. It just turns into a question of if we get maybe some green flag laps and everybody pits in 15 laps, will that still be good for Threlkeld and Sweeting?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Threlkeld and Sweeting are kind of banking on, so to speak, are, you know, a quick caution here, especially with these drivers on the cold tires. That cold tire bug is something vicious, especially deeper in the fields where you know, some of those drivers that may not simply be as skilled as those at the top of the pile can make those metal mistakes. I also don't think tire wear is as vicious here at Michigan as it's been in the past, especially in these, I almost called them Xfinity cars, but O'Reilly Auto Parts cars. It's very awkward. You know what? I think what makes it awkward is that we had pushed.
Sorry, I was gonna say we did have an extended caution, so we're not going back green. We we had a wreck under yellow. Tony Graham wrecked. Okay, well that would be why. Well, I don't think Tony Graham wrecked under caution so much as he stopped in the middle of the track and got us an extra lap under caution. So
yeah, you can't do that.
That's why we're doing another lap here under the pacing, and we will finally get back rolling here momentarily for Logan Threlkeld and Chuck Sweeting up on the front row, barring anybody else stopping in the middle of the racetrack, which we hope does not happen. Your top 10 at the moment: Devontae Drain is in the 33, Judson Curtis, Austin McCulkin, Logan Sturgeon, Jamie Libke, Jeffrey Goodpaster up from 30th to 8th after not taking a qualifying time in tonight's race. Kyle Deering 9th. Garrett Kinder has fallen back a couple spots from where he started, but he's still in that top 10. And then back behind him, Stephon Davis in 13th on back. You've got cars who have opted to pit, who have opted to put new tires on that car. They'll have 15 lap or so fresher rubber than the group of Threlkeld, Sweeting, Drain, and Curtis up front. And we'll see if they're able to make that work as we enter the extreme scoring restart zone, and Logan Threlkeld gets a good jump to put us back under green. Another good jump for Threlkeld means even more work Chuck Sweeting has to do to get himself back up here.
Working here post-restart with 29 laps to go. The 29 of Judson Curtis starting to draft up here to the rear. But don't look now. Devontae Drain and the 66 of Jeffrey Goodpaster are going to be duking it out right underneath the 26 of Logan Sturgeon and the 54 of Austin McColgan. Drifting right up in front of McColgan is the 26. That was a dangerous move. And behind them, they're 3 wide. Watch the 50 of Kyle Deering stuck right in the middle. Good Lord, this is a knot of cars that can be a disaster. All it takes is for one person's wrist to get a little itchy. The 18 just took a run and had to sling himself around the 50 of Deering. And now the 18.
Oh, car round up in front of this pack.
Wow.
Someone slid all the way down to the inside wall there. Having trouble picking out who that was. There you go. It's the 09 car right there, getting all the way down to the apron. That was Stephon Davis trying to drive himself back up through the field after taking that pit stop for tires and getting the bad end of it as Garrett Kinder just got loose out of the corner, tagged him. He kept it out of the wall, but he did lose a lot of positions. He's running back in 23rd right now. Long, long way to go for him.
Yeah,
he's racing almost 3 wide here for 5th as well, as Devontae Drain is going to make some contact off the corner there. That was a close moment with Goodpaster, and there goes Jamie Libke, spun across the nose. That will finally bring out the caution. That had been trying to come out for a hot second there.
Yeah, there were so many things, but first of all, this was that cold tire bug that I just got done.
It was Garrett Kinder loose off turn 2 again. Back-to-back laps. Oh, he took a hit that time. That was not his fault.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I get so frustrated. I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but Jamie Libke, one of the coolest drivers out here on the racetrack. She's, I mean, like, all things considered, we've had some really good conversations. back during her ARCA days. And I mean, like, I feel like Jamie gets wrapped up in some dumb stuff all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Never making the bad decision herself, always the product of somebody else's bad decision.
Yeah, just got caught up there with some contact on the inside of that 3 wide to bring out another caution here tonight. Cautions always seem to get more frequent as we head down to the end of a race, and now with 25 to go. Hopefully we don't see them ratchet up, but it seems that that is happening at the moment.
Working here, the 5th caution of the evening. Drivers getting themselves calmed down. You know, I think this might be a good time for some of these drivers to take a little bit of self-inventory and decide whether or not you can make it from lap 45 to the end. It's not that big of a deal. I think that you know, these drivers here, there they are.
And there we go. So that will likely give the advantage to the cars who pit on that last caution and are going to get to stay out. That includes Levi McCarty. That includes Tracy Passons as well as Lucas Lyons, who will now be up to 2nd. Frederick Seagraves, Barrett Morton, Brandon Wallace, Ken Huber, all coming down there. Austin McGolkin will stay out. Austin McGolkin will stay out as your leader. He will be way off cycle here in comparison to everybody else.
Yeah, now this one, the Tampa, Florida native is probably going to earn the Bonehead Award because he is now going to have 2 rounds of pit stops that he has skipped out on. Unless this is part of a grander strategy, he might get that Bergen Bonehead Award.
Well, I mean, we'll see. Tires can go pretty quick here as the track temp today up at 112 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're going to see these tires maybe go a little bit quicker than you might if this was a night race here at Michigan because of how warm this racetrack is. And that is going to hurt that 54 car's ability to keep it even here over these final 24 laps. I mean, we'll see. I don't know if this is a good strategy or not because he is going to have to pit before too long, especially if we do go green. And I mean, he's either going to drop back through the field or he's going to have to pit off cycle and go to the back of the field anyway.
You know, thank goodness we don't measure temperature in Kelvin. It's like 273 degrees Kelvin. It seems
it's actually it's actually 112.
Right.
Well, I don't know how to convert to Celsius, but it's 273 plus what 273.15 plus whatever the Celsius temperature is. So let's get some math going here. 112 Fahrenheit
Working on it.
in Celsius. 44.4.
Oh,
So yeah,
that is hot.
273 point to that. 260. We are at 317.6 degrees.
Good gravy.
Kelvin is basically just Celsius, but weird. It's like, what if we made Celsius less convenient to use?
Why did all of these people need to do these things anyway? You know, it's hard enough switching between standard and metric, but, you know, if you happen to be watching, you know, Canadian TV, all of a sudden they're like, hey, it's 44 degrees outside. Huh, doesn't seem that bad. And then you walk outside and you scorch yourself.
Yeah, it works really well for meteorology physics calculations. That was what I had used Kelvin for in my life, but I can't say I've used it for literally anything else since I did those meteorological physics calculations back in my freshman year of college before I realized maybe I don't want to do physics for the rest of my life, and now I am here spending my Sunday night on iRacing, as are so many of these drivers here in this race.
I see what a successful decision that was.
Oh, I'm having a great time with it. I just got off work, and now I'm here. It's awesome. Austin McGolkin in the 54 car will go from next to Lucas Lyons in the 17. 2 new cars on the front row as we take the restart zone and go green, and it's a good jump for McGolkin. Lyons and McCarty will look to get him before he can get too far away. There's a joke in here somewhere about how Lions are chasing down the fresh meat up at the front of the field on old tires. As he's going to try to block up top there. McColgan getting a bit crazy for it. And that might open the door to McCarty underneath. Maybe not. Lions could force this 3 wide, but he won't get to. The caution will fly first. To protect McColgan, we've got Barrett Morton around. He was inside the top 10 when that car spun. Gotten into it with Ken Huber on. Oh, that was a brutal, brutal netcode accident.
You know, I'll say.
And Ken Huber has immediately left the session. He's done for the night.
I think I gave him the broadcaster's jinx by thinking he was going to jump out of 14th and lock himself in. Well, sorry, Ken. It's my fault. I'll take credit for it.
That will be the end of his race, unfortunately. There, I do not believe he had a faster pair left after some earlier problems. So that will, yeah, that'll be the end of Ken Huber. Was having a good night. He has a win earlier this season. He's a driver we know can run up front, but just has had some bad luck. Has had some races he's been unable to show up to, and that will cost him here tonight. I would like to note, according to there's the fun fact from Judson Curtis and Race Chat, he missed last race because he fell asleep in his sim before the race started. Yeah, we'll get a black flag
that's
for
awesome.
Kevin here, as I'm assuming that will be related to that incident, as Gavin was, let's see, he's currently being scored 25th on the racetrack. He was one of those cars who pit in that last batch.
Gonna be back in just one moment.
So we will get the cars up here very shortly, double file, as we sit under caution. We can thank, let's thank one of our partners at Go Locker Racing while we are sitting here. That is INVETS. INVETS aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure success and happiness. We are a veteran nonprofit in Indiana. The goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. And they are obviously the title sponsor of the INVETS Grand National Series, and they've been a pretty big supporter of Goat Locker Racing over the years. So thank you very much to INVETS for your continued support of Goat Locker Racing as we continue to hang out here under caution. I'll tell you what, we've had a pretty good one when we have stayed green. We've just had trouble staying green here over the last 20 or so laps of this race. This is caution 6, I want to say.
This is caution number 6.
16-degree Kelvin. There you go. There you go.
I feel like we have really opened up an ugly can of worms with this one.
It's actually still 317 degrees Kelvin because you have to convert the Fahrenheit to Celsius. And math.
And math. Math does what math does.
Yeah, we went from 317.59 Kelvin to 317.04 Kelvin, actually, on that one.
Levi McCarty.
What do I have to do to get Eddie to put that up there in Kelvin for a race?
Well, right now, Eddie, who is at work right now, is going to be just absolutely thrilled with this particular discussion.
My idea, yes.
Yeah. He's probably never going to let us operate unsupervised ever again.
Well, it was a good run.
No, it's fine. Can't believe this is the way we're going to get fired, but whatever.
Hey, Vegas Golden Knights head coach got fired, and they're in the playoffs with 8 games left to go right now. So
yeah, and they
you never know. Yeah, they got Torts in there, which is a fascinating maneuver. We're going to see, McColgan has ended up bringing that car down pit road over that caution. So he will bite the bullet. He will go back to 29th over these final 19 laps of this race, and he will try to drive his way up from 29th back to the front of this field with 19 laps to go. Levi McCarty, Lucas Lyons will be your front 2 rows as Everybody spread out behind him. Tracy Passon's Frederick Seagraves, first car on fourth. The last caution will be the 57 of Chuck Sweeting, who sits in 9th position at the moment. As we will head back down to the extreme scoring restart zone here very shortly for McCarty and Lyons, two cars who we haven't really seen up on this front row too much today, but now they are up here. That's a really big scoring tower, and we'll see if they're able to hold this position over the next 19 laps. It's McCarty and it's Lyons up on the front row. Hit the restart zone, and they go at about the same time there. Neither car really able to get going. You can see the pushing going on behind as everybody tries to get some ground. And oh, we're wrecking big time behind him. Chuck Sweeting hard into the fence, along with about 5 or 6 other cars back there.
They're not done yet.
And it is a cluster back from about 6th on back. Threlkeld just gave a shot to the back of Sweeting, and it all went downhill.
There are more meatballs than they have at Olive Garden right now, popping up on timing and scoring.
We're going to get the blimp cam out here. That's how you know it was a big one on the restart. As you're going to see Threlkeld get going, and he will bump the back of that 57 of Sweeting, and it all just kind of checks up in front of him, where Calvert gets caught up in this, Richards gets caught up in this, and it just spirals back from there. I mean, you got 5, 6, 7, 8 cars maybe taking some pretty large hits as a result of that accident. Just a mess there on that restart.
Yeah, that looked like an accordion. That was just absolutely horrific. Especially for some of those drivers that, you know, you've taken care of your car this far, you know, you're down to less than 20 to go, and you're thinking, hey, you know, I can see the final leg of this race. Let's keep it clean. And then dumb things happen like that. That's so frustrating as a driver. I mean, Kyle Deering with the meatball flag. He's down pit road. Ay. Meanwhile, Levi McCarty out of Muncie, Pennsylvania, representing the 570. Going to be our race leader, up 26 positions right now, sitting behind the iRacing.com pace car.
Judson Curtis also up. Also about 24 positions there. It's not going to show it on your ticker, but he did start this race in last after an EOL, and he's had to drive that thing all the way back through. As we get some pit stops here. We're going to have a couple cars coming in. Looks like Lucas Lyons has come in. So that is going to be an interesting decision for Lucas Lyons to bring that car down pit road. He had it running in second. Maybe not good on fuel tonight with well, I think we have a fuel load tonight, so he should have been good on fuel coming down to pit about 15 laps ago, but he's opted to bring that car down pit road. We're joined by a couple others. Looks like Judson Curtis, Logan Threlkeld, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Gary Wright, Benjamin Richards, some of the cars who were more caught up in that accident. Lyons, really the main car who came down who was not caught up in that accident was Lucas Lyons there. He'll come out 19th as the car's on kind of 4 different unique tire strategies here. Of Austin McGold can already back up to P17 as a result of just not crashing. Chuck Sweeting, his night is done. He led several laps earlier in this race, but caught up in that accident, and he had already used his fast repair. He had not used his fast repair. He opted to not use his fast repair. He will be done for the night in the 57 car.
Fun fact about where Levi McCarty is from, up in Muncie, Pennsylvania. Muncie, PA has Pennsylvania's death row for women at their state correctional institution there.
Sure.
Just, I mean, there's really nothing else going on there except for Levi McCarty, obviously, who's the championship driver up in that neck of the woods. Top tier, if you will.
I just had to look it up, and I did not know Muncie was spelled that way, so there you go.
It is.
I was thinking it was like Indiana.
Oh, no. I see what you did there, but no. Actually, it was a name derived from the Wolf Tribe Indians.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to read your keystone markers.
A lot of good stuff going on out there. I think Google Earth took the photo of it through clouds, so you can't actually see any of it. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff going on up in Muncie.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, they've probably. I'm guessing that they have a barber shop.
Not too far.
Yeah, not too far. Nope, that's over in Williamsport, in the Little League Hall of Fame.
I would have been in the Little League World Series if I played baseball and was maybe about 100 times more athletic than I was as an 8-year-old. I could.
Yeah, no, I get it. You could.
Yeah. Fortunately, I
Yeah,
did only grow to be about 5'5", so I wasted my time on that one. But for brief moments, I could.
I'm average-sized, fat, and white, so hooping is not my thing. More of a baseball guy.
There you go. Yeah.
As
They
we
don't
all
really,
know.
they don't really make sports for short people. I guess I've gotten into running. I've gotten into distance running recently. Levi McCarty and Tracy Passons will be up on your front row as we get ready to go back green. It's a great jump for McCarty through the extreme scoring restart zone to take us back to the flag, as it's a really bad jump for Passons. He'll fall victim to Frederick Seagraves and Brandon Wallace, newly promoted up the field due to having new tires and also just not crashing in that big one.
Yeah, sometimes crash avoidance, especially in a situation like this, can be absolutely impossible. I mean, when you get to a situation, where you're side by side, like so many of these drivers, look, here's Jamie Libke stuck in the middle of the salad bowl again. Garrett Kinder now running off just ahead. I mean, if something bad happens right in front of Jamie, she's going to be stuck in this situation all over again.
And there's battles going on all throughout the field right now. This is the main one up here with Chuck Phelps and Logan Sturgeon going up at it. Logan Sturgeon's been running in the back half of the top 10 perpetually tonight as Devontae Drain is moving his way through. He's in that 33 car. He's running up in the top 5 earlier, looking to get that car back up in the top 5. Look at Threlkeld getting a little bit aggressive back there in that bright blue and white car as Michael Jones is bent out of shape up on the top. He'll lose a ton of spots back there. He's going to drop all the way behind Mayer and Curtis and a couple other cars as Devontae Drain still side by side with Jamie Libke. Drain moving up through the field. Libke trying to get back up into the top 10 in that battle. As Lions will go at it. Whoa, Brock Price is way up out of the groove just in front of these cars. He'll slip back as we're side by side for the lead here. Tracy Passons already got that car back up to second. Was door to door with McCarty for a moment. Couldn't make it stick on the inside out of the corner. And he will be in very quick pursuit of McCarty. So will Stephon Davis back up here in third, trying to make something happen. But the caution will fly for... It is Armando Melgoza with some heavy damage going through the infield. Well, actually, the heavy damage was not a result of this crash. But he's got heavy damage either way. And, well, Jeffrey Goodpaster tried to split the middle. And Melgoza came down, and there you go.
Boom goes the proverbial dynamite.
Yep.
Well, the Mesa, Arizona native cannot be happy right now as, where are we at? 11 to go? Yeah, 11 to go. Seems like a great time to wreck my night. Want to encourage everyone, of course, to head on over to goatlockerracing.org. First of all, we wouldn't be here without Goat Locker Racing. But check out the GLR web store. You can support the sport and the mission with Goat Locker Racing at glrwebstore.com. You'll find quality racing apparel, hats, and gear. And every purchase supports veterans, active military, and first responders. Your order also helps fuel our mission and fight back against mental health challenges facing our community. Great gear, real purpose. Visit glrwebstore.com. Check out that QR code right there as our producer Skylar gets that up there on your screen. I do have to say the gear is pretty pimp. The sweatshirts are indeed amazing.
Yep, yeah, been I'm gonna maybe getting one of those for myself at a point in time. So they're pretty nice pieces of merchandise, and there's something I would like to, wear around the house. Towards school, look pretty comfortable from what I have heard. See some drivers on the in-car cams we do occasionally rocking some of the merch here.
It's been a long night here at Michigan International Speedway, folks. But you're watching the Goat Locker Racing INVETS Grand National Series live on V-Speed. Dave Regal and Sky Shrek with you. Skylar Daly back at the production truck on the ones and twos and everything in between. We want to thank all of you for tuning in and watching wherever you may be and however you may be listening. 10 to go tonight here in Brooklyn, Michigan. It's been a big night.
Has been a pretty big night. I mean, we've seen some good racing. We've seen some cautions here in the latter bit of this one, but looking to get it back going very shortly here tonight. We're going to have under 10 laps to go here in the INVETS Grand National Series. Is there anything particular you're looking out for over these last 10 laps, Dave? And don't say more caution, please. Please don't.
Then I will say great racing and 111-degree Fahrenheit track temperatures. I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, the track temperatures are definitely contributing to maybe some of the slipping and sliding and crashing that we have seen over the course of the night, because it gets really hard to control these cars when they do end up getting as fast as they are out here. Is I'm going to have, looks like, I'm trying to do some math in my head. 9 to go is the number I'm looking for when we get back green, barring any potential overtime attempts, which you can never rule out here in the INVETS Grand National Series, because we have already had a couple of them here so far in this season.
Yeah, it's been an interesting season. I mean, we've seen dominant performances out of Mark Whitley and Joseph McWhorter. Ken Huber's been in that mix. I mean, Garrett Kinder has, made his presence known. And, tonight we get to see something a little bit different here. I mean, right now our race leader, Levi McCarty, not getting a whole lot of time to lead this season, out here to make a name to, whoa, hey, what are you doing there? McCarty here in the 18 just hopped up and decided it was time to start cleaning the debris off the virtual tires.
As we are going to have a pretty good finish here, I would imagine. I mean, with how many lines you can run here in Michigan, we've seen cars go 3, 4 wide at points tonight. I would not be surprised to see a little more of that action as we head down to the end of this one. Logan Threlkeld's dialed in. He just went into our broadcast chat and sent a message that said T, so I'm assuming that he is locked in for this restart as we enter the extreme scoring restart zone. It's another really good jump for Levi McCarty that gets us back green here on lap 62 out of 70.
Nine laps to go here at Michigan, and 3 wide they are behind our race leader, Levi McCarty. And I'm telling you right now, Sky, and they've now gone single file, just in case I wanted to look like a clown. But there's a knot of cars here, and we're under caution. See, now I didn't say it, so I'm not taking responsibility.
Michael Jones around on the back straightaway would be another caution. No, actually, he wasn't the one around. It was a 4-wide incident involving Mason Mayer, Jamie Libke, Mark Barcelos, and the works. Mark Barcelos is running up here. He started this lap in 6th. He's just going to get it on the outside. He's going to lose speed, get loose. Slows everybody up. Mayer tries to split the difference, and it don't work.
Terrible. Simply terrible. I mean, once again, here's Jamie Libke, minding her own business here in the middle of the racetrack.
Yeah, not really anything she could have done about that one, as Mason Mayer was just trying to create a gap out of thin air, and it ultimately just didn't end up working out for him at all.
Well, Levi McCarty, Tracy Passons, Frederick Seagraves Jr., that's going to be your top 3. And overall, I think they're going to be locked in. Looks like by the time we get to the end of this caution, we should have about 5 laps to go.
We get a check on how many cautions there have been tonight, Skyler. Can we flash
9
with the cautions and the lead changes? We had 9, all right. I know we were at 3 about at halfway, so it has...
Nope.
Yeah, we've kind of negated a lot of the pit strategy that we thought we were going to see over the course of the second half of this race, as it has just kind of turned into a caution fest with drivers like Lucas Lyons, Logan Sturgeon on some fresher tires, unable to drive it back to the field to where they would probably be if we did have some of that. There you go. We are at 317.04 degrees Kelvin. There on the track temperature is really good if you want to know how much convection is going into the air, maybe the adiabatic lapse rate. Probably not good if you're doing a race car. That's a big word. Adiabatic lapse rate. It's a new one.
Yeah, look at you.
New one for you.
Tune in with V Speed for all of your vocabulary improvement needs.
When the rate at which an air parcel's like a bit of air, just its temperature changes as it goes up. And if it's the dry adiabatic lapse rate, that's how much it goes up when it's dry. And the wet adiabatic lapse rate is how much it goes up when it's wet.
So for those of us that work in HVAC, that's wet bulb and dry bulb temperature.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm just a caveman with a wrench and a psychrometer. It's fine.
They've been trying to put wet and dry bulb temperature into meteorology, and I'm gonna be so real. I understand none of it.
It's
like, yo, dry bulb temperature today, wet bulb temperature today, 180. I'm like, what does this tell me? This doesn't tell me.
It doesn't help.
Just use feels like. Just use heat index.
Yeah. Yeah. Wind chill and heat index. That's what we rely on here in the Great Northeast.
That's what you should. That heat index tells you a lot more about what's going on to the average person who doesn't know anything about meteorology compared to wet bulb temperature.
You had a wet bulb in the Navy? I don't know if everybody can hear Skylar or not, but Skylar, a Navy veteran, is in our production ear, getting ready to tell us a story, probably off the air, about wet bulbs in the Navy. No, I don't think he was there, was he? Well, you know,
Yeah.
after the sixth caution, all bets are off.
Y'all familiar with the Stefan Boltzmann law? It used Kelvin to calculate the radiation,
And we're back to Kelvin.
energy, and power
All
being
right.
emitted from something. Really good in physics. Again, I don't take physics classes anymore, so that is just kind of permanently lodged in my brain.
Proud of you.
Yeah. Look, hey, I don't know if it was a guy named Stefan Boltzmann or if it was a Stefan and a Boltzmann, but they got that stuff figured out. Terrorizing Physics 2 students everywhere. We got, well, we're gonna have 5 to go here unless we get into a overtime situation, which we might if we continue to run under caution here. We'll hit the extreme scoring restart zone very shortly for you here. It's Levi McCarty, Tracy Passons. No real difference in positions of anybody up front from the last caution since it came out so quickly. We'll get rolling back green, and it's a bad jump for Tracy Passons. Frederick Seagraves Jr. has already rolled that car up into P2. That is not a car we've seen in the top 5 very often, but here he is when it matters the most.
Working here with just those 5 laps to go, swinging side by side, goes the 4 of Garrett Kinder and Wallace, and we're still battling it out for the lead. The 18 of Levi McCarty dives to the low side. We've got battles all over the racetrack with just single digits of laps left. Garrett Kinder now looking to the low side of the 09 of Stefan Davis, now working his way past. Meanwhile, just ahead, Lucas Lyons now having to hold off, or now having to battle against Tracy Passons, and it's going to be the 17 and the 53 side by side into turns 1 and 2, and as they roll out of 2 and down the backstretch, the 17 gets a run right at the rear bumper of Frederick Seagraves, and now all of this momentum in the 17's car is going to run down into turn number 3 as he's going to draft
We're
up.
gonna get a caution. Armando Melgoza and a couple other cars around the back. There were 2 separate incidents here, I think, is what's gonna bring out this yellow. Yeah, we're gonna have multiple different incidents here. You can pick one to start with. We'll start with Armando Melgoza, but there were 2 coming out of the same corner. With Melgoza, he gets loose, he gets tagged by Mason Mier, and he slides down the track, takes out Kevin Price and Mark Barcelos with him. The second one was Charles Abert. That did not start with Charles Abert. It started with Gary Wright in the 44 car, so that might be who you want to go to. Gary Wright is going to get into it with Dave Calvert. A little bit deeper in the field. Gary Wright is going to get way loose out of the corner. He's going to smack the wall. He will get into Calvert. Calvert tries to save it, bounces it off the wall, comes back down, tags Abert, spins Abert around.
Well,
and we will get overtime here tonight.
Nope, took the words right out of my mouth. Folks, we're going to go to NASCAR overtime. What that means is when we go back green flag racing, we're going to have 2 laps to go. Once we race around back to the white flag, any time between the waving of the green flag and the white flag, we can rack them, stack them, and do it all over again if that caution should come out. But once the white flag waves, the next flag ends the race, whether that flag is yellow, checkered, pink, blue, whatever it happens to be. So what we're really hoping for is a good, clean 2 to go, and the white flag to hit that air.
We have said there, first green, white, checkered. We've got 2 chances at it if we need it here tonight, and I would not be entirely shocked if we end up needing a second one here tonight, just off the way the last 30 or so laps of this race have gone, but these drivers will try to make it 1 lap green so that they can finish this race under green on the first attempt at an overtime finish here tonight, as lights on the pace car are still on, so that will officially mark us going to overtime. Got a couple cars into the pits, it looks like. No one really up front. It's just going to be the cars who were involved in that wreck there. That's Abert and Barcelos coming out. You know, we haven't really had too many cars out of this race. I mean, we've seen Malgoza and a couple others be involved in multiple wrecks, but Ken Huber, Chuck Sweeting, 2 cars who were up front very early on in this race are the only 2 true DNFs we've had. Daryl Whitford is sitting 4 laps down at the moment. And you have Tyler Gevin and Armando Malgoza, both 1 lap down. Malgoza has just dropped the lap as a result of that accident. We'll see if Gevin ends up getting the lucky dog here. He might. Actually, he might have just already gotten it, but he was 2 laps down. So we'll determine that one. I think he's going to stay 1 lap down here.
Well, all we have to do is see whether or not this is going to be a strong finish. The iRacing.com pace car lights are still on, which means we've got 1 more lap before we go back green flag racing. As they come out of turn 4, we look at Levi McCarty, Lucas Lyons, Frederick Seagraves Jr. the third, Garrett Kinder, Tracy Passon, Stefan Davis, Brandon Wallace, Barrett Morton, Logan Sturgeon, and Devontae Drain. That's your top 10. And we also want to make sure that everybody goes ahead and checks out Go Talk Live. Go Talk is more than just a show. It's a platform dedicated to supporting our nation's heroes. Through engaging conversations, Goat Talk spotlights the impactful work GLR does to build community and camaraderie through their iRacing leagues. Each week, hang out with the GLR crew for incredible stories, sim racing action, and a celebration of the spirit of service and community. Don't miss your chance to connect with the people driving change and supporting those who have served on Goat Talk Live.
As we will have a restart here, and it will be the first restart of overtime as we get ready to get back rolling here very shortly. Track temp still sitting at 110 degrees. It's gone down a little bit as a result of our kind of slowed pace in this race, but it's still a very warm track, still one that has been prone to slipping. Mark Barcelos, by the way, getting the EOL penalty for being involved in that accident. As it's Lucas Lyons and it's Levi McCarty up here at the front of the field. Garrett Kinder, Frederick Seagraves sitting in 3rd and 4th with Tracy Passons and Stefan Davis right behind them. And it is going to be a all-out dash to the finish between McCarty and Lyons. Lyons is on the better tires of these cars by 15 laps. Will that be enough to get him around? Levi McCarty for the lead of this race. McCarty's going to get the better jump as he hits the extreme scoring restart zone, and he is off here at Michigan. Let's see if Lyons can track him back down, or if Seagraves or Kinder have something to say about this finish.
It's a tough dance floor.
Well, caution's coming out. We're going to have to do
there
another
it is.
one. Well, we got a pretty big one out here in turn 1. Jamie Libke, Jeffrey Goodpaster. Jeffrey Goodpasture's already disconnected. He got turned by Michael Jones. That's going to be what causes this, is he gets turned by Michael Jones.
That is a headset thrown across the room rage quit, if I ever saw one. Taking a look at Jamie Libke on the inside during this restart, just inside the O2. Oh, that is disappointing on so many levels.
Well, we will have one more chance to get a fully green overtime, or fully green white flag, or fully green 2 to go lap at least, before we will simply end this race under caution, which is the process if we can't make it 1 lap under green on this next restart. Jamie Libke got an EOL there. Unless that was a requested EOL, I am not at all sure how that was given.
It's hard to get an EOL in that situation, but I don't often question race control, especially here. I feel like race control at Goat Locker is literally top of the mark on the iRacing.com servers.
They definitely have a tough job. I don't know if Libke's actually going to be able to get the car back out on track. Anyway, yeah, she's got a meatball and she's already used the fast here, so that'll probably be the end of Jamie Libke's night here with just a couple laps left to go. Maybe 1, maybe 2. Very real chance we could just be racing till the caution comes out here, which that would really not help Lucas Lyons, who's got the better tires.
Yeah, it's been an interesting night, especially with some of these drivers. I mean, I'm looking at some of their last pit stops. It's a salad bowl. I mean, there's really not that many people all in the same pit strategy right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it right there. Your top 4 cars have all pit on different laps. McCarty, oldest tires in the field right now as he continues to run it. Honestly, if it wasn't for the amount of cautions that we've had, I would be questioning if McCarty would be good on fuel to the end of this one. Lucas Lyons is good. He's got the best tires, and if this thing were to go 2 laps green, I bet Lucas Lyons would have a pretty good shot of it. The issue is we have struggled to go 2 laps green for the last 35 laps of this race. We'll see what happens. It's Levi McCarty, it's Lucas Lyons, Frederick Seagraves, and Garrett Kinder will look to pull the upset, and you can't count out Stephon Davis with a good long run car back there in P5. We hit the extreme scoring restart zone, and we are going to go green. No, well, never mind. The pace car's staying on. I got baited. Did someone stop on the racetrack again? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Well, maybe not. Maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I forgot what lap we were on. Yeah. Well,
No, they were supposed to have gone.
Okay, so something happened. We didn't go green. We are going to go green this next time. It might have had to do with, it might have had to do something with Michael Jones being stopped on the back straightaway. I think he was trying to let cars go by, and he just parked it. So that might be what got us the extra lap. I can't tell you. We'll get going this time. For real, this time. It was also a requested EOL for Jamie Libke. Michael Jones will get the incident responsibility EOL.
I still stand by my earlier statement that Jamie Libke gets wrapped up in everybody else's bad decisions. And this is just more proof to that.
Everybody's been lined up here for a full 2 laps, so they are fully ready to go here. They're in. They want it. So it will be McCarty. It will be Lyons. Lyons still, once again, on those fresher tires. Kinder, Seagraves, 3rd and 4th. Those 2 cars have been fast all race. They've kind of found themselves up there after that late wreck that took out a lot of cars around them. Stephon Davis, Tracy Passons, both fast drivers as well. Now we'll go green through the extreme scoring restart zone. Seagraves gets a shot to the back of Levi McCarty, and he is trying to get clear of Lucas Lyons for the lead, but he just can't quite manage it. They'll go side by side down into turn 1, and Lucas Lyons on the better tires will have the advantage of the run out of the corner up there on the top side. It's going to take all he can manage to make it stick off the corner, but it will. Lucas Lyons not quite clear, but he is solidly the leader of your race. As we enter turn 3, it's going to be another dive for McCarty down on the inside lane as Lyons drives it through the middle. He needs to hold that 18 car down. He'll hold that 18 car down. They'll door each other all the way back up the road. And as we exit turn 4, we'll make our way back to the start-finish line. This race will be official. Lucas Lyons, Levi McCarty, as they have been for the last 10 or so laps of this race. They're wrecking a little bit further back, but we're still green up front in the battle for the lead. Lyons gonna get tagged by McCarty. 17 car loose. Here comes Tracy Passons up on the high side. He's gonna get wrecked by Seagraves. We're all going around. Who's gonna be the one to make it through the madness? It's gonna be Barrett Morton from out of nowhere in the 9 car. He's your new leader. He'll be chased down by the 09 of Stephon Davis through turns 3 and 4. The 09 is gonna have one shot at him. He's gonna give a shot to the back of the 9 car. Devontae Drain in here as well. He's going to look to the middle, but he doesn't have enough time. And Barrett Morton wins at Michigan.
Barrett Morton with the surprise win. It was almost like a night at Talladega. Everybody wrecks, and somebody who was in 7th all of a sudden takes the win. And tonight
he was 8th. He was 8th at the line there.
I thought I counted 7. Whatever.
Man.
Good Lord. Let's look at the V-Speed instant replay.
He was 9th at 1.2 because he was behind. He got passed by Threlkeld on that lap, so he was 9th when it all went down. Devontae Drain was 10th.
Whew, I need a cigarette in the dark after that. Good Lord.
Oh boy.
Where's Stephon Davis in the lung dart machine? I don't even smoke. I like this replay montage you've got going on. This is like GLR's greatest hit for Sunday night.
I do really like the Barrett Morton first place, 1 lap led. Sometimes that's all you really need. You can see as this just all goes wrong up in front of him, Barrett Morton just floors it straight through the middle, gets by everybody, and takes your win from out of nowhere tonight at Michigan. I don't even know what to say to that one, man. Woo.
He just closed his eyes and mashed the throttle.
What a finish. We're going to take a quick break as Barrett Morton burns it down. We will have your final results and interviews with your top 3. Stay tuned.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. INVETS can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. INVETS can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about INVETS, visit us at invets.org today.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
Welcome back to Coat Locker Racing in the INVETS Grand National Series. After that wild finish tonight at Michigan, Barrett Morton grabbed your win, and we'll take a look at your finishing results. Barrett Morton, obviously your first place finisher, your winner here tonight, ahead of Stephon Davis, Devontae Drain. Austin McColgan came back from that pit stop, managed to get himself P4. Judson Curtis from the EOL to P5, and then it's Tracy Passons, Mason Mayer in P7, Benjamin Richards, Stephon Purcell, and Kevin Price.
Taking a look here. Where is our race leader? I thought you had him with you.
We're doing results, Dave.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My speakers literally just died out. Kyle Deering finishes in 11th with Michael Jones, Brandon Wallace, Dave Calvert, and Gary Wright down through your top 15, with Brock Price finishing in 16th. 17th goes to Charles Abert with Tony Graham in 18th. 19th goes to Barcelos, and Mark Barcelos in 19th, with 20th going to Lucas Lyons.
Back from there in 21st, we got Miles Graham, 22nd, Levi McCarty, Garrett Kinder, 23rd, Logan Threlkeld, 24th. Frederick Seagraves is your last car on the lead lap in 25th after, he was running up in the top 3 up until it all went down on that final restart. And then your car is not finishing on the lead lap tonight. Logan Sturgeon, Chuck Feltz, Tyler Gebben, Darrell Whitford, Jamie Libke, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Armando Malgoza, Chuck Sweeting, and Ken Huber were your 2 early exits on the night. As we will pull up into the booth, your race winner tonight, Barrett Morton. Barrett, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Yeah, what were you thinking there when you saw all that go on in front of you, and then you ultimately ended up being able to win?
I was like, I didn't realize it was December. So, Christmas came a little early. That's kind of my thought. And I saw the smoke, and I was telling Brandon Wallace, I said, hey, they're wrecking. Watch out. I picked a lane and did not lift. But I expected to come out like 4th or something, not in the lead. I don't know. I'll take it any way I can get it.
We saw you mixing it up more around that top 10 there, but you ultimately managed to come from nowhere and got the lead. We were all breathless just having to watch the final bit of that race. What is it like having to mix it up in the mid-pack at a track like this where you can run, so many different lines and go so many different places to make moves?
Yeah, it's a really fun track to run, and this car was really well balanced, tires balanced and stuff. I didn't have good practice, didn't have good qualifying, so I knew track position was going to be key later on, so I just pushed really hard on the early runs and just got myself in position. But once you got towards that top 10, it was a lot harder to pass, and people were starting to figure it out. So it was fun. You just kind of really had to plan your runs out. You run around the top side, you kind of see what this guy's going to do, sort of thing. But yeah, it was actually a really fun night of racing.
All right, who do you have to thank tonight?
Lincoln Tech, Save 22, INVETS, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, you guys over at V-Speed, y'all do a great job. All my Bandits teammates, Stephen Davis, I don't know what he was thinking there. He had every chance to pass me at the end, and because I was chasing the car the entire time on that last corner, and then for some reason he hit me, but he said that he couldn't turn underneath me either. So anyways, good run from him. All my Bandits guys. Lucas had a great run all night. I hate it for him. Brandon Wallace, Spearcrest Digital, RD Designs, yeah, then again, everything you guys do and Goat Locker.
All right, congrats on the win tonight, Barrett Morton.
Thank you.
We will send it over to Dave, who will be standing by with our second place finisher tonight, Stephon Davis.
Stephon Davis, it's Dave Riggle up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. How you guys tonight?
Good. Listen, man. Listen, you start 10th, you finish second. That last caution of the race, or that last wreck of the race, that is, was just like a parting of the Red Sea. How do you find yourself here on the second step on the podium?
Pretty good. I needed a really good run tonight because I know I was on the cutoff of the playoffs. I believe this was the cutoff race tonight. So needed a good finish. Got put back in the back a little bit earlier from a earlier wreck, but ran good. Maybe I could have won the race if I didn't have to lift there a little bit to avoid the 17 spinning, but ran good. I always like Michigan. It's always been a good place for me.
Yeah, Michigan's one of those racetracks that some drivers just absolutely love, and then other drivers just, cannot stand. There's really no middle ground on this racetrack. I mean, boogieing around this place, do you like that amount of width, the space that you have, or would you rather be a little bit tighter?
No, it's a good amount of space, especially if somebody, gets a little loose or they push up a little bit, you have enough room to be able to kind of maneuver around there. It is a little bit tighter in turn 1 and 2 because you can't really run the bottom because the bottom is kind of flat as hell. And so the middle to the top of 1 and 2. But 3 or 4, I love 3 or 4. You can run low, you can run high, you can run middle. But it's just overall a great place to race.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, man, congrats on the P2 finish tonight. Before we cut you loose, who helped you get it done tonight on the 09 machine?
I'd like to give a shout out to you guys up in the booth. Shout out to Jam Printing and Promotions, INVETS for the sponsor of the series, V-Speed, Alexander PCs, Cruising Classics, GTR Simulators. And I'd like to give a shout out to my painter, JS Design there, George Stencil. He hooked me up with this Ricky Rudd throwback I ran tonight, so give a shout out to him.
All right, my man, we'll see you next week. Congrats once again.
Appreciate you guys. See you guys next week.
And last but certainly not least, I think you've got Devontae Drain with you right now, Sky.
Yeah, Devontae, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing today?
P3 tonight, you were mixing it up in the top 5 for a while, but, I mean, what were you feeling when that happened on the last lap?
Man, I just knew I had to keep it pinned wide open. I was coming from P11 at that last restart. I was like, man, I need every point I can. I'm sitting right there on the bubble, so it's going to be close to see if I made it in the playoffs.
Yeah, do you know if you made it in? Because we don't have the numbers in front of us.
I don't know yet.
All right, well, we'll figure that out. We'll get that to you when we are made aware up here in the booth. You were mixing it up in the top 5 for much of the night. I asked the same question to Barrett a little earlier, but what is it like mix it up in the top 10 where you're at a track where you can run so many different lines?
Oh, it's awesome. You can throw sliders. You can run that high line. I mean, it's amazing racing, especially when you're running the top 5 and all those guys are just so skilled. I mean, it's amazing racing up there. It's a lot easier when we don't have the top guys running with us this week.
Whether you do make the playoffs or you don't make the playoffs, you're going to Charlotte and Iowa over the next 2 races here. Are those 2 tracks that you're any excited for?
Oh, yeah, I love Charlotte. It's one of my favorites.
All right, who do you have to thank tonight?
Oh, man. Obviously, iRacing, MK Fire Design, Sim Motion, Harpoon Designs, Zach Graphics, obviously, INVETS, Of course, my team sponsors, 4Wide, Dark Fusion Systems, Snowman Studios, Lake Effect Studios, Chef Content, TRC, just all the people that have been supporting me all this last few years racing, man. Just appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, congrats on P3 tonight, Devontae Drain.
Thank you.
And we'll be off next week, but 2 weeks' time, Dave, we will be at Charlotte. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, of course, sitting in the shadow of all that is NASCAR. And, I mean, that's where we're going to kick off our playoffs here for Season 4. And, I mean, when that round of 12 arrives at Charlotte, they're going to be dealing with that 1.5-mile quad oval situation, and coming out of turn 4 there is always a bear. It's a lot like Texas Motor Speedway. So I'm excited to see how these drivers are going to handle that racetrack and especially the pressure of entering the playoffs.
Thank you so much for watching tonight on V-Speed, and for everybody at V-Speed and at Goat Locker Racing. We will see you same place in 2 weeks' time. Have a great night.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.